Hello everyone, this is Elliott Jose for the Comics Waiting Room and the Chicago Red Eye, and here I am again, coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois, joined by my buddy here, Jose Melendez, comic book reader and expert extraordinaire. I think you know.
That sounds nicely.
Is that good? Yeah?
Yeah.
That works. Yeah, I call you a connoisseur. A comic connoisseur. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Connoisseur? I think you're like, you see Sideways?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Paul Giamatti, his character. You are to comics what that character was to wine.
I can see that.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm more like the, I want to call him Lowell, but it was Thomas Hayden Church. You know, he's drinking the bad wine. You know, Paul Giamatti's like, it's quaffable. He's spitting certain wines out, and Paul Giamatti, Thomas Hayden Church is like, I don't see the difference.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm here to class up your act a little bit. Get you to stop reading some shit.
I'm trying.
Trying to get you some new stuff that probably never would have read before.
And the good stuff that deserves reading. That's true. But a lot of the stuff I know you try to encourage me to read is outside of the mainstream. A lot of the independent stuff and the independent writers and creators, but there is some good stuff going on in the mainstream, and right now, DC has given the reins of Superman over to Jeff Johns, Richard Donner, and James Robinson.
I don't think Richard Donner's doing it.
Not anymore?
No, he just did that the last one in Krypton.
Okay.
And Jeff Johns has been on the book by himself, on action.
So Jeff Johns is like kind of like become the Bendis of DC. You know,
that's kind of a slam. But I understand where you're going with it.
Yeah,
I understand the comparison, but to me, it's like, ooh, that's just
okay.
It's not that bad.
Well, I guess it's just that they're giving him a lot of creative control, just like Marvel has a lot of creative control. Bendis has a lot of creative control in Marvel,
right?
Over some of their.
But I'll take any Jeff Johns book, any day of the week, and twice on Sunday, than like have to actually read a Brian Michael Bendis book, because the stuff that I've been reading that Jeff Johns has been doing, like, you know, he's been doing Green Lantern, he's been on action for a while. The stuff is just really good stuff. I mean, some of it, it kind of falls into Brian Michael Bendis, the ways that he writes a little bit, because he likes to go back and kind of retell stories that have already been told, but in a different way.
Right. Kind
of like they just wrapped up the Green Lantern, like, origin. Secret origin storyline, 7 parts. It's okay. That was pretty long, but I don't know. But I do like it. I mean, Jeff Johns has written some of the best comics for DC that I've read. I mean, Action Comics has just been ever. Last Son of Krypton was all right, but when he came on and did the Legion storyline, when Gary Frank came on as artist,
that was superior.
And then they just
stuff,
finished up the Brainiac storyline, which again I thought was really good.
Yeah, no, both the Legion of Superheroes and the Brainiac storylines too. They felt they were very cinematic, but they were really they're very well crafted stories. And just when you thought you could tell every Superman story that there is, Jeff Johns came back and gave us a nice take, a new take, like you said, on an old concept or an old villain, especially with Brainiac. I was genuinely creeped out by Brainiac. And the way they resolved, and I liked how the Brainiac story was resolved. It was resolved, and yet they still left it open for things to happen, in the future with the character, but you still got a resolution. Unlike what they've been doing with the freaking, with Civil War, Secret Invasion, it's just one thing setting up another, which is just, you get no resolution. You get no way to say, that story has been told, and
everything just kind of bleeds into.
Yeah,
I agree.
So what were they doing? I mean, the whole thing with Legion and then the Brainiac storyline got to lead into the New Krypton, New Krypton launch, and I guess the story arc that Jeff Johns and James Robinson are working on. And I thought it was very clever the way you had the 2 books. You had what was going on in Superman and what was going on in Action Comics all came together in the New Krypton book in a I thought was a really clever way.
Yeah, I mean, the New Krypton one-shot was basically an issue of Action Comics, a full issue of Action Comics, and a full issue of Superman in the same book.
In the same book.
Yeah, it does meld them together because now, after I saw this on the rack, if you all haven't been reading Superman for a while, they brought back the awful numbering system.
Yeah.
This is number 1, this is number 2. They used to do that back in the day to let you know, and they put it on every Superman comic and every Superman family comic, so you knew what order to read them in. And I don't know if I like that, because I think that Supergirl's going to fall into this line too. And after seeing that, it's like, oh god, you know. But I mean, they're melding together nicely right now. So for the time being, I'll let them get away with that. But
on the one hand, it does make sense to do it. On the other hand, you're like, do you really need to do that?
Well, that was the whole thing about like Action and Superman were separate for so long, and they were really separate.
Right.
You know, and it was nice to have that. You know, and Busiek was writing Superman for like the longest time before James Robinson came out, and Action was its own like thing, and it was fine. But now it's like now you got to read one, and then you have to read the other one. Like I don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah. Well, the big thing that's going on in Superman is, the bottle city of Kandor has been basically blown back up again, back to regular size, and been placed right next to the Fortress of Solitude, which looks just like the Fortress of Solitude from the movie. Mm-hmm. They decided to just can the original, you know, the Golden Age or the Silver Age Superman Fortress of Solitude. They've gone with the movie version, and
they also, this has been out for a month, but spoiler alert. And they also killed Pa Kent.
Yes, and Pa Kent. Yes, Jonathan Kent is gone, just like in the movie. So I'm thinking they're doing this to get people who haven't read Superman comics in a while to kind of align the world back to the way people really remembered it to be like. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you've like been watching Smallville. Now, the fact that Pa Kent...
Which shouldn't be.
Really yeah, I know. I stopped watching it a couple years back.
So bad.
But even then, Pa Kent's always been dead. So you know, for the longest time he was alive. Now he's dead again. Fine. But they're revisiting an old theme, which is basically Kryptonians on Earth again. And I have two problems with that. The first being, Superman has always been a very... I know Superman believes in the goodness of people in general, but he's coming across as incredibly naive. That you could have all these Kryptonians on Earth getting his powers, and he expects all of them to be good citizens.
Well, that's why... in the James Robinson, when he's flying back to Kandor, he's stopped by the Justice League. Yeah, and they're having a little talk with him, and he does. It does make him seem completely naive. Like he just doesn't, he doesn't get it. Yeah, especially after fighting Zod and Non and Ursa, he had his hands full with 3 Kryptonians. He had his hands full with them. Why would he possibly want to add to that? Does he expect every person who lived on Kandor is going to be a saint, is going to be a perfect person, who wouldn't possibly, for the life of them, imagine, hey, I've got all this power, I can get whatever I want now, but I'm not going to use it? Right. Well, and that's the thing from this the second Superman 681, which is the second part. It's painfully obvious that something's going to get fucked up. Oh, big time. And it's not going to go good. And, and it's just one of those things that now you have to wait it out and see how it plays out.